What's up, guys? It is the Bad Wolf, the man in black himself. We are going to be going over some things that you guys should already know or have read or have heard. And I don't think you guys have actually gone through some of these things. So I'm going to give you guys a unique experience. Okay, it's not really that unique. Now, I always tell people if you're going to contact me, well, if you're a troll, don't. But if you are a troll, I always tell people to read these three documents before contacting me. And if you're one of my viewers, you guys should, as I mentioned, it's good to know where your rights come from. So read these. But some people still aren't reading. They're not. So we're going to bring it to you because I get it. Reading those things are boring. They're dry. Okay. So we're gonna do it here. We're going to do it here. Yes, yes. All right. And yeah, so we're just gonna go through it, but I'm gonna go through it with you. I'm gonna pause it and I'm gonna let you know my thoughts on everything. So you're gonna see how the brain of the bad wolf works. It's a scary place. It's a trap. Um, okay. So with that being said, let's cover a few things before we get going. My TikTok channel is doing very well. The people over there are treating me really good. I talk more about relationships and advice and experiences that I've gone through over on TikTok. However, me and a number of my friends, and I'll probably have some co-stars, will be on the Bad Wolf Media channel, which is my backup YouTube channel. In case anything happens to this channel again. And so please, please, please add that YouTube channel for real. Like I'm going to be on there talking about other things. Now, maybe those things don't interest you, and that's fine. That's why I keep this channel specifically here for this stuff. With the other channel, I'm going to use that main one for conversations, adults, health and whatever else. I'm going to cover all the normal things. All right. I was going to make a channel for each specific topic, and I guess I kind of do, but I don't see everybody adding like 8 channels that I'm going to have. So focus on the secondary channel. That way, if I need to upload a whole bunch of videos from this channel to that one, I can just do it over there. But primarily, that one's going to be just for everyday things that need to be said. And I'm going to say them just how they need to be said, period. Whether I hurt anybody or trigger anybody, it is what it is. All right. So that channel is going to be no holds barred for the most part. So if people swing on me over there, I'm going to swing right back. You're going to catch it. All right. So with that being said, I find it kind of funny that there are grown ass men in the world on YouTube who watch my channel and want to swing on me for giving my perspective, my life experiences on dealing with these legal matters and whatever else. So you mean to tell me you're a grown ass man with your own channel and you have to take my videos and cut clips of it to try to make me look stupid or call me out my name? So you swung on me first, right? Okay. This means that you're petty, you're a small person, and you are a traitor to the United States of America. That's all I have to say to address that. Moving on. If you guys want to go to my website, I now have jamesclovett.com, Badwolf Unincorporated.com, and they will both take you to blacksite32.com. All right. And as some people have noticed in many of my videos in the background, if you listen ever so slightly, there's always some kind of, well, not every video, but a majority of the time, well, when I think about it, I'll be honest, there's always Mozart or some kind of classical music playing in the background. Because if the system out there is going to program you guys with well, I can't even call it music, we'll just call it entertainment. Well, then I'm going to reprogram you guys with a little classical music with the right frequencies, solfeggio frequencies, to help soothe and undo some of the negative energy programming out there. How about that? All right. So on Black Site 32, don't forget to join the newsletter so that in case something does occur that I need to contact all of you guys or get out something unique or tell you what platform I'm going to be on in case I move from this one. All right. Uh, join the newsletter. Okay, on Black Site 32. Go on there and just go ahead and click that and join that. And that way I can do a mass email and be able to get out to communicate with you guys, because we know how they like to play around with the media and censor you and whatever else. Plus, from Black Site 32, I can actually just put up videos saying anything I want on there. Okay, I mean, within most good reasons. Whereas other platforms or whatever else. So join me on there. Now, without any further ado, make sure you guys are having a great day. Stay positive minded. Stay away from negative people. People who are out there trying to hide their face, hide their identity, look super cool, look the part, and play games and be expensive on, things. Guys, remember, once again, be careful in these groups, even if it's one of my groups, people trying to pretend to be me. Stay away from gurus who are trying to do too much. And if they're always out there trying to downgrade people, stay away from that, because that just tells you what kind of person they are. They've got negativity in their heart. And if they're trying to charge you way too much for things that you think should be cheaper or free, then look around. Everything that we do, there's no file or whatever else that I have in bit of information. And I know most of these other gurus out here ain't going to say this, that is free. It's okay to charge for your time. And it's okay to charge if you're going to, like I have and certain other people, put these materials together and make it easier for you guys to find. But not to the point where it's a complete rip off. Be careful of that, guys. And that's one of the reasons why some of these clowns out here don't like me, is because I keep it real. I keep it 100. I'm not here to rip you off. I'm not here to do anything but get this information out and make a decent living. I can make so much more money if I would have sold out corporately to the corporations out there who wanted to try to send me money to buy me, to shut all this down. Like, oh, I'll buy you. And let me tell you, it wasn't cheap. Okay. I had one company out there offer 2 million, up to $2 million they were willing to pay me. So what did I say? I said, give me 3. They wouldn't do it. So I was like, okay. So anyway, but I'm not trying to sell out. I'm not trying to have 1,800 gajillion ads on here. I'm not trying to rip you guys off and not make my appointments and whatever else. I have so many people who do appointments with me, consults. And like, thank you, Wolf. You changed my life. Thank you for holding the appointment. Thank you for actually doing this. I'm like, well, you paid me, and if you don't meet it, then I'm gonna refund you. So yeah, this is what we do. It's like, yeah, and they're like, but I've been ripped off by so many people who didn't even make the appointment, or they over talked me, or they double talked me, or they wouldn't let me get anything in. They didn't listen to me. They didn't fix the problem. Anyway, I digress. You guys get it. All right. So with that being said, don't forget. A shot goes out to Ramen. Once again, Ramen, thank you for your support. I appreciate you sending a donation in. For those people who want the behind the scenes, additional VIP information, anybody can be VIP by going to YouTube, my main channel, and clicking on the join button, and then choosing any level that you guys want to help and participate and support me monthly. Then you get access to the members only videos. All right. And that's usually where everybody gets everything first, or some things I'm not even going to put on this side. That's education. Um, Otherwise, and so to those people in the packs, thank you, thank you, thank you. Because that helps. Like I said, YouTube has they tend to shadow ban me and other people's information. They do not send out a notification to all the people out there on my list. So all 70, almost 80,000 people don't get the notification at the same time. So don't forget to hit that bell, like, subscribe to increase your odds. And every so often, just go to my main YouTube page and just check in on the wolf. Okay. And make sure you're still subscribed, because YouTube will unsubscribe certain people if you're not coming back often enough, which is crazy to me. And that's it. So I digress. Let's get to it. All right. So this particular video is about we're going to cover the preamble and the Constitution. Hopefully I have it set up. Let's see here. Nope, that's the Zoom. Yeah, let me, hopefully everybody is healthy out there, and hopefully everybody is taking care of themselves and your responsibilities. Now I got to find it. Okay, so bear with me one moment here. Okay, here's the Zoom. There we go. Got it set up. All right. So let's take a look. All right, so I'm going to let the lovely AI read through this. And yes, I'm going to tell you, not all this is going to be like super fantastic, but there's a lot of critical things in here that you guys need to hear. So this will be a longer video. We're literally going to go through all of these things. And then in the second part, okay, we're going to go and cover the amendments. Okay. The ratification of the conventions of the 9 states shall be sufficient. We're going to go through all the amendments. And these are good too, but this will be in the second half. But there's a lot of interesting pieces in here you guys need to know. This is where these are the superior documents over all of the states and their codes and statutes. Now, it doesn't mean that you can ignore the state statutes if you're operating as a U.S. citizen, but you still have to have common sense to be respectful and mindful of those things. So you can't just speed, you can't just tell a cop to piss off or whatever else. I mean, legally it has freedom of speech, but you can't just do anything you want. What this is saying is that they cannot deprive you of your rights, and this is how they limit the government and governments, including the states. And you need to know that these are the superior laws: federal law, constitutional law, private law, religious law, God's law. These are all over those other man-made ones. Well, I guess those are partially man-made too, but these are the superior ones. The Supreme Court, when they make a ruling, federal court, Constitution, these things are superior and actually law. All the other stuff that the states are doing is a form of corporate or business type of law for their private, somewhat sovereign paper state existing over the de jure geographical land, which is America. Okay, so with that being said, let's get going.
We the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America.
Okay, hold on. Did you hear that? You guys probably did not catch some of the things that are going in there. They established justice. They created a perfect union. They want domestic tranquility, common defense, promote general welfare, blessings to liberty. And here's the thing for me, Constitution 4. This is the preamble, written word for word, as the original founding fathers did. So when I see this written as Constitution for the United States of America, not Constitution of the United States, that tells me these are two separate things. They made a secondary set of information and called it Constitution of the United States. This is how I want to see it written. This is what I believe in. This is America right here. I see the word America, and it's for the United States of America, not of. Okay? This is just what I've learned how to spot these things. But let's keep going.
Constitution of the United States. The Preamble. We the people. Article. Section 1. Section 1. All legislative powers herein granted shall be vested in a Congress of the United States, which shall consist of a Senate and House of Representatives.
Representatives.
Section 2. The House of Representatives shall be composed of members chosen every second year by the people of the several states.
Okay, so here for me, my mind goes House of Representatives. Okay, well, we know that living people are in the present, so it should be presentatives, not representatives. So they're represented. They represent or they represent you, the people, we, the people. And also, this could be construed that this means they're acting or in a position that is not natural. Anytime you see the word register, resident, a resident, representatives, means you're going from one place to another. There's something going on. And here where it says several states instead of the word America, that's because the word several states means America. This is the way that they get away from not having used the word America sometimes, is of the several states. And in this case, it's a capitalized S. So it's the de jure, several states. And yes, I know most times I tell you guys everything is about the lowercase, but in this case, the real de jure states are represented by the capital S. Now, over the years, they've gone back and forth, blah, blah, blah. So don't quote me on this exactly because there was a lot of mishmash going on before the change, after the change. But in general, when you see the several states, we're talking about in the geographical or continental sense. So the several states means America. You can see this in VPO style manual, the 2000 edition, which says the several states, natives of the several states. Okay, let's keep going. Oh, hold on. Continue.
States, and the electors in each state shall have the qualifications requisite for electors of the most numerous branch of the state legislature. No person shall be a representative who shall not have attained to the age of 25 years, and been 7 years a citizen of the United States, and who shall not, when elected, be an inhabitant of that state in which he shall be chosen. Representatives and direct taxes shall be apportioned among the several states which may be included within this union, according to their respective numbers, which shall be determined by adding to the whole number of free persons, including those bound to service for a term of years, and excluding Indians not taxed, 3/5 of all other persons. The actual enumeration shall be made within 3 years after the first meeting of the Congress of the United States.
Hear that? Indians are not taxed. Okay. Free persons, including those bound to service for a term of years and excluding Indians not taxed. There's a lot of information in here, guys. A lot of good information, but let's keep going. Aren't you native? Aren't you native to the land that you were born on? Born in Florida, so you're Floridian?
States, and within every subsequent term of 10 years, in such manner as they shall by law direct. The number of representatives shall not exceed 1 for every 30,000, but each state shall have at least 1 representative, and until such enumeration shall be made, the state of New Hampshire shall be entitled to choose 3, Massachusetts 8, Rhode Island and Providence Plantations 1, Connecticut 5, New York 6, New Jersey 4, Pennsylvania 8, Delaware 1, Maryland 6, Virginia 10, North Carolina 5, South Carolina 5, and Georgia 3. When vacancies happen in the representation from any state, the executive authority thereof shall issue writs of election to fill such vacancies. The House of Representatives shall choose their Speaker and other officers, and shall have the sole power of impeachment. Section 3. The Senate of the United States shall be composed of 2 senators from each state, chosen by the legislature thereof, for 6 years, and each senator shall have 1 vote. Immediately after they shall be assembled in consequence of the first election, they shall be divided as equally as may be into 3 classes. The seats of the senators of the first class shall be vacated at the expiration of the second year, of the second class at the expiration of the 4th year, and of the third class at the expiration of the 6th year, so that 1/3 may be chosen every second year, and if vacancies happen by resignation, or otherwise, during the recess of the legislature of any state, the executive thereof may make temporary appointments until the next meeting of the legislature, which shall then fill such vacancies. No person shall be a senator who shall not have attained to the age of 30 years, and been 9 years a citizen of the United States, and who shall not, when elected, be an inhabitant of that state for which he shall be chosen. The Vice President of the United States shall be President of the Senate, but shall have no vote, unless they be equally divided. The Senate shall choose their other officers, and also a President pro tempore, in the absence of the Vice President, or when he shall exercise the office of President of the United States. The Senate shall have the sole power to try all impeachments. When sitting for that purpose, they shall be on oath or affirmation. When the President of the United States is tried, the Chief Justice shall preside, and no person shall be convicted without the concurrence of 2/3 of the members present. Judgment in cases of impeachment shall not extend further than to removal from office, and disqualification to hold and enjoy any office of honor, trust, or profit under the United States. But the party convicted shall nevertheless be liable and subject to indictment, trial, judgment, and punishment, according to law. Section 4. The times, places, and manner of holding elections for senators and representatives shall be prescribed in each state by the legislature thereof, but the Congress may at any time by law make or alter such regulations, except as to the places of choosing senators. The Congress shall assemble at least once in every year, and such meeting shall be on the first Monday in December, unless they shall by law appoint a different day. Section 5. Each house shall be the judge of the elections, returns, and qualifications of its own members, and a majority of each shall constitute a quorum to do business, but a smaller number may adjourn from day to day, and may be authorized to compel the attendance of absent members, in such manner, and under such penalties as each house may provide. Each house may determine the rules of its proceedings, punish its members for disorderly behavior, and, with the concurrence of 2/3, expel a member. Each house shall keep a journal of its proceedings, and from time to time publish the same, excepting such parts as may in their judgment require secrecy, and the yeas and nays of the members of either house on any question shall, at the desire of 1/5 of those present, be entered on the journal. Neither house, during the session of Congress, shall, without the consent of the other, adjourn for more than 3 days, nor to any other place than that in which the two houses shall be sitting. Section 6. The senators and representatives shall receive a compensation for their services, to be ascertained by law, and paid out of the Treasury of the United States. They shall in all cases, except treason, felony, and breach of the peace, be privileged from arrest during their attendance at the session of their respective houses, and in going to and returning from the same, and for any speech or debate in either house, they shall not be questioned in any other place. No senator or representative shall, during the time for which he was elected, be appointed to any civil office under the authority of the United States, which shall have been created, or the emoluments whereof shall have been increased during such time, and no person holding any office under the United States shall be a member of either house during his continuance in office. Section 7. All bills for raising revenue shall originate in the House of Representatives, but the Senate. Every bill which shall have passed the House of Representatives and the Senate shall, before it become a law, be presented to the President of the United States. If he approve, he shall sign it, but if not, he shall return it, with his objections to that House in which it shall have originated, who shall enter the objections at large on their journal, and proceed to reconsider it. If after such reconsideration 2/3 of that House shall agree to pass the bill, it shall be sent, together with the objections, to the other House, by which it shall likewise be reconsidered, and if approved by 2/3 of that House, it shall become a law. But in all such cases the votes of both Houses shall be determined by yeas and nays, and the names of the persons voting for and against the bill shall be entered on the journal of each House respectively. If any bill shall not be returned by the President within 10 days, Sundays excepted, after it shall have been presented to him, the same shall be a law, in like manner as if he had signed it, unless the Congress by their adjournment prevent its return, in which case it shall not be a law.
Sorry about that delay. Let's get back to it. Hopefully it'll pick back in.
Every order, resolution, or vote to which the concurrence of the Senate and House of Representatives may be necessary, except on a question of adjournment, shall be presented to the President of the United States, and before the same shall take effect, shall be approved by him, or being disapproved by him, shall be repassed by 2/3 of the Senate and House of Representatives, according to the rules and limitations prescribed in the case of a bill. Section 8. The Congress shall have power to lay and collect taxes, duties, imposts and excises, to pay the debts and provide for the common defense and general welfare of the United States, but all duties, imposts and excises shall be uniform throughout the United States. To borrow money on the credit of the United States. To regulate commerce with foreign nations, and among the several states, and with the Indian tribes. To establish an uniform rule of naturalization, and uniform laws on the subject of bankruptcies throughout the United States. To coin money, regulate the value thereof, and of foreign coin, and fix the standard of weights and measures. To provide for the punishment of counterfeiting the securities and current coin of the United States. To establish post offices and post roads. To promote the progress of science and useful arts, by securing for limited times to authors and inventors the exclusive right to their respective writings and discoveries. To constitute tribunals inferior to the Supreme Court. To define and punish piracies and felonies committed on the high seas, and offenses against the law of nations. To declare war, grant letters of marque and reprisal, and make rules concerning captures on land and water. To raise and support armies, but no appropriation of money to that use shall be for a longer term than 2 years. To provide and maintain a navy. To make rules for the government and regulation of the land and naval forces. To provide for calling forth the militia to execute the laws of the Union, suppress insurrections, and repel invasions. To provide for organizing, arming, and disciplining the militia, and for governing such part of them as may be employed in the service of the United States, reserving to the states respectively the appointment of the officers, and the authority of training the militia according to the discipline prescribed by Congress. To exercise exclusive legislation in all cases whatsoever over such district, not exceeding 10 miles square, as may, by cession of particular states, and
Did you hear that? Not exceeding the 10 miles square. That is where their power is in that district. So how is it that some of the things that they've done have gone everywhere? They created a second set of books. They abridged the Constitution. They're operating in their federal zones. And if you're party to them, then you're party to them.
and the acceptance of Congress, become the seat of government of the United States, and to exercise like authority over all places purchased by the consent of the legislature of the state in which the same shall be, for the erection of forts, magazines, arsenals, dockyards, and other needful buildings, and to make all laws which shall be necessary and proper for carrying into execution the foregoing powers, and all other powers vested by this Constitution in the government of the United States, or in any department or officer thereof. Section 9. The migration or importation of such persons as any of the states now existing shall think proper to admit, shall not be prohibited by the Congress prior to the year 1808, but a tax or duty may be imposed on such importation, not exceeding $10 for each person. The privilege of the writ of habeas corpus shall not be suspended, unless when in cases of rebellion or invasion the public safety may require it.
So, once again, I talked to you guys about the writ of habeas corpus. This is how a lot of people who have been locked up have gotten out. They cannot suspend that. They cannot deny that. If you invoke it, you invoke your constitutional rights. They have to listen to you. I already made a video on habeas corpus. If you don't know what it is in its entirety, look it up. All right, let's keep going. It's gonna get good, or it's already good. It's gonna get better.
It. No bill of attainder or ex post facto law shall be passed.
All right, so no bill of attainder. They cannot force you to join. They cannot force you to force a contract. No law that goes, no lower level state created corporate slash business entity regulation and rule can surpass your rights and freedoms unless you waive them knowingly.
Passed. No capitation or other direct tax shall be laid, unless in proportion to the census or enumeration herein before directed to be taken. No tax or duty shall be laid on articles exported from any state.
We are not supposed to be taxed. They're only supposed to tax in their jurisdictions. They created these zones, zip codes for those people that it applies to. So when you pay your taxes, you're making the election to pay as a living person, an individual, natural. You made an election. You said, I want this taxed. The only tax you should be paying is the thing on the things you buy in the area, because that money is what goes to your local schools, roads, and whatever else. Everything else is double dipping. And corporations are supposed to pay taxes, but they've also passed on their responsibility to you.
State. No preference shall be given by any regulation of commerce or revenue to the ports of one state over those of another, nor shall vessels bound to, or from, one state, be obliged to enter, clear, or pay duties in another. No money shall be drawn from the treasury, but in consequence of appropriations made by law, and a regular statement and account of the receipts and expenditures of all public money shall be published from time to time. No title of nobility shall be granted by the United States, and no person holding.
So if we back up, they're supposed to be held accountable to let us know where all of our money is going from time to time, down to the nickel. But what do? These are off budget or off books, black projects, held under national security. Most of you guys are not even ready to know what they're really doing with some of that money. You're not ready. He wasn't ready. He needs some milk. Oh, yeah, you can't even put a lot of stuff on YouTube for many reasons. But all right, let's just keep going. Let's just keep going. Play the game.
Holding any office of profit or trust under them, shall, without the consent of the Congress,
So no title of nobility shall be granted by the United States, and no person holding any office of profit or trust under them shall, without the consent of Congress, accept any present emolument, office, or title of any kind whatever from any king, prince, or foreign state. Let's keep going.
except of any present, emolument, office, or title, of any kind whatever, from any king, prince, or foreign state. Section 10. No state shall enter into any treaty, alliance, or confederation, grant letters of marque and reprisal, coin money, emit bills of credit, make anything but gold and silver coin a tender in payment of debts, pass any bill of attainder, ex post facto law, or law impairing the obligation of contracts, or grant any title of nobility. No state shall, without the consent of the Congress, lay any imposts or duties on imports or exports, except what may be absolutely necessary for executing its inspection laws, and the net produce of all duties and imposts, laid by any state on imports or exports, shall be for the use of the Treasury of the United States, and all such laws shall be subject to the revision and control of the Congress. No state shall, without the consent of Congress, lay any duty of tonnage, keep troops, or ships of war in time of peace, enter into any agreement or compact with another state, or with a foreign power, or engage in war, unless actually invaded, or in such imminent danger as will not admit of delay. Article 2. Section 1. The executive power shall be vested in a President of the United States of America. He shall hold his office during the term of 4 years, and, together with the Vice President, chosen for the same term, be elected as follows. Each state shall appoint, in such manner as the legislature thereof may direct, a number of electors equal to the whole number of senators and representatives to which the state may be entitled in the Congress, but no senator or representative, or person holding an office of trust or profit under the United States, shall be appointed an elector. The electors shall meet in their respective states, and vote by ballot for 2 persons, of whom one at least shall not be an inhabitant of the same state with themselves. And they shall make a list of all the persons voted for, and of the number of votes for each, which list they shall sign and certify, and transmit sealed to the seat of the government of the United States, directed to the President of the Senate. The President of the Senate shall, in the presence of the Senate and House of Representatives, open all the certificates, and the votes shall then be counted. The person having the greatest number of votes shall be the President, if such number be a majority of the whole number of electors appointed, and if there be more than one who have such majority, and have an equal number of votes, then the House of Representatives shall immediately choose by ballot one of them for President, and if no person have a majority, then from the 5 highest on the list the said House shall in like manner choose the President. But in choosing the President, the votes shall be taken by states, the representation from each state having 1 vote. A quorum for this purpose shall consist of a member or members from 2/3 of the states, and a majority of all the states shall be necessary to a choice. In every case, after the choice of the President, the person having the greatest number of votes of the electors shall be the Vice President. But if there should remain 2 or more who have equal votes, the Senate shall choose from them by ballot the Vice President. The Congress may determine the time of choosing the electors, and the day on which they shall give their votes, which day shall be the same throughout the United States. No person except a natural-born citizen, or a citizen of the United States.
Whoa, easy. Let's not just run past that. Did you hear what was read? No person except a natural-born citizen, comma, or a citizen of the United States. That means these are 2 separate things. They're in the same family, but they've got different titles. They're legally different. So a natural-born citizen, that's a national. A citizen of the United States are all the things that are legally underneath that, which also does include a national. But here they're making a distinction. There are nationals, which are natural-born citizens, and then all the rest, because underneath the title citizen of the United States can be a person, can be a company that has, created in the United States, it can be somebody who came here and got naturalized. All the rest of those things fall underneath that title. But specifically, they said here, a natural-born citizen, and they put that one first. First rights, first dibs, and then all the rest of them that are underneath this title.
States, at the time of the adoption of this Constitution, shall be eligible to the office of President, neither shall any person be eligible to that office who shall not have attained to the age of 35 years, and been 14 years a resident within the United States. In case of the removal of the President from office, or of his death, resignation, or inability to discharge the powers and duties of the said office, the same shall devolve on the Vice President, and the Congress may by law provide for the case of removal, death, resignation or inability, both of the President and Vice President, declaring what officer shall then act as president, and such officer shall act accordingly, until the disability be removed, or a president shall be elected. The president shall, at stated times, receive for his services a compensation, which shall neither be increased nor diminished during the period for which he shall have been elected, and he shall not receive within that period any other emolument from the United States, or any of them. Before he enter on the execution of his office, he shall take the following oath or affirmation: I do solemnly swear, or affirm, that I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States, and will to the best of my ability preserve, protect and defend the Constitution of the United States. Section 2. The President shall be Commander-in-Chief of the Army and Navy of the United States, and of the militia of the several states, when called into the actual...
Did you hear that? And the militia of the several states. They're showing you two different things here. The president shall be commander. When stuff hits the fan, he's got the Army and the Navy, all the goodies that come along that they've added since then at his disposal, and the militia of the several states. Well, we know the several states are America, so this is the organic. So the people in the organic section, he can say, hey, look, I need your military might. If you guys are formed in the Americas, I need your might. You guys need to join us. If you have formed something official, like a militia, for the protection of this land, I have you guys at my leisure. Otherwise, my normal powers are over the Army and the Navy and etc. That's why do you think they just said, and of the several states? All right, let's keep going.
Service of the United States, he may require the opinion, in writing, of the principal officer in each of the executive departments, upon any subject relating to the duties of their respective offices, and he shall have power to grant reprieves and pardons for offenses against the United States, except in cases of impeachment. He shall have power, by and with the advice and consent of the Senate, to make treaties, provided 2/3 of the senators present concur, and he shall nominate, and by and with the advice and consent of the Senate, shall appoint ambassadors, other public ministers and consuls, judges of the Supreme Court, and all other officers of the United States, whose appointments are not herein otherwise provided for, and which shall be established by law, but the Congress may by law vest the appointment of such inferior officers, as they think proper, in the President alone, in the courts of law, or in the heads of departments. The President shall have power to fill up all vacancies that may happen during the recess of the Senate, by granting commissions which shall expire at the end of their next session. Section 3. He shall from time to time give to the Congress information of the state of the Union, and recommend to their consideration such measures as he shall judge necessary and expedient. He may, on extraordinary occasions, convene both houses, or either of them, and in case of disagreement between them, with respect to the time of adjournment, he may adjourn them to such time as he shall think proper. He shall receive ambassadors and other public ministers. He shall take care that the laws be faithfully executed, and shall commission all the officers of the United States. Section 4. The President, Vice President, and all civil officers of the United States shall be removed from office on impeachment for, and conviction of, treason, bribery, or other high crimes and misdemeanors. Article 3. Section 1. The judicial power of the United States shall be vested in one Supreme Court.
Did you hear that? The judicial powers. A lot of you guys don't know what the Separation of Powers Act is. Shall be vested in the one Supreme Court. Okay, but it's going to go on, so let's keep going. They are the primary, they're the head.
Court, and in such inferior courts as the Congress may from time to time ordain and establish. The judges, both of the Supreme and inferior court.
So what are the inferior courts? All the rest. are inferior. So these are not equal. But what they do is they allow these inferior lower courts, anything but the Supreme Court, that's not inferior, it's called supreme. And these are called inferior. But they allow these inferior courts to handle some of the business so that the Supreme Court is not chugged. Supreme Court then focuses on actual laws, rights, freedoms, liberties, constitutional things that they protect. While the other ones, the inferior, which inferior means what? Not supreme. And if anything in these inferior courts does not hold weight or they deprive you, it can be taken to the federal court or the Supreme Court.
Courts shall hold their offices during good behavior and shall, at stated times, receive for their services a compensation, which shall not be diminished during their continuance in office. Section 2. The judicial power shall extend to all cases, in law and equity, arising under this Constitution, the laws of the United States, and treaties made, or which shall be made, under their authority, to all cases affecting ambassadors, other public ministers and consuls, to all cases of admiralty and maritime jurisdiction, to controversies to which the United States shall be a party, to controversies between two or more states, between a state and citizens of another state, between citizens of different states, between citizens of the same state claiming lands under grants of different states, and between a state, or the citizens thereof, and foreign states, citizens, or subjects.
There you go.
In all cases affecting ambassadors, other public ministers and consuls, and those in which a state shall be party, the Supreme Court shall have original jurisdiction. In all the other cases before mentioned, the Supreme Court shall have appellate jurisdiction, both as to law and fact, with such exceptions, and under such regulations as the Congress shall make. The trial of all crimes, except in cases of impeachment, shall be by jury, and such trial shall be held in the state where the said crimes shall have been committed, but when not committed within any state, the trial shall be at such place or places as the Congress may by law have directed. Section 3. Treason against the United States shall consist only in levying war against them, or in adhering to their enemies, giving them aid and comfort. No person shall be convicted of treason unless on the testimony of 2 witnesses to the same overt act, or on confession in open court. The Congress shall have power to declare the punishment of treason, but no attainder of treason shall work corruption of blood, or forfeiture except during the life of the person attainted. Article 4. Section 1. Full faith and credit shall be given in each state to the public acts, records, and judicial proceedings of every other state.
Meaning, what's good here is good there. Credit here is good there. You say it's good, I have faith. We're all, though separate, somewhat sovereign states, we are under one family. There's not going to be any blockages here. You've got credit, equity, American, full faith and credit.
State. And the Congress may by general laws prescribe the manner in which such acts, records, and proceedings shall be proved, and the effect thereof. Section 2. The citizens of each state shall be entitled to all privileges and immunities of citizens in the several states.
They're telling you here all the classifications of citizens of all the states shall be entitled to all the privileges and immunities that the citizens in America, the several states have. One side, and everything that's done in either jurisdiction is good. We're all equal. Everybody can claim essentially what the other citizens get. All the privileges on in the maritime, all the privileges on the terra firma on land jurisdictions. Everybody gets it.
States. A person charged in any state with treason, felony, or other crime, who shall flee from justice, and be found in another state, shall on demand of the executive authority of the state from which he fled, be delivered up, to be removed to the state having jurisdiction of the crime. No person held to service or labor in one state, under the laws thereof, escaping into another, shall, in consequence of any law or regulation therein, be discharged from such service or labor, but shall be delivered up on claim of the party to whom such service or labor may be due. Section 3. New states may be admitted by the Congress into this Union, but no new state shall be formed or erected within the jurisdiction of any other state, nor any state be formed by the junction of two or more states, or parts of states, without the consent of the legislatures of the states concerned as well as of the Congress. The Congress shall have power to dispose of and make all needful rules and regulations respecting the territory or other property belonging to the United States, and nothing in this Constitution shall be so construed as to prejudice any claims of the United States, or of any particular state. Section 4. The United States shall guarantee to every state in this Union a republican form of government, and shall protect each of them against invasion, and on application of the legislature, or of the executive, when the legislature cannot be convened, against domestic violence. Article 5. The Congress, whenever 2/3 of both houses shall deem it necessary, shall propose amendments to this Constitution, or, on the application of the legislatures of 2/3 of the several states, shall call a convention for proposing amendments, which, in either case, shall be valid to all intents and purposes, as part of this Constitution, when ratified by the legislatures of 3/4 of the several states, or by conventions in 3/4 thereof, as the one or the other mode of ratification may be proposed by the Congress, provided that no amendment which may be made prior to the year 1808 shall in any manner affect the first and fourth clauses in the 9th section of the first article, and that no state, without its consent, shall be deprived of its equal suffrage in the Senate. Article 6. All debts contracted and engagements entered into, before the adoption of this Constitution, shall be as valid against the United States under this Constitution, as under the Confederation. This Constitution, and the laws of the United States which shall be made in pursuance thereof, and all treaties made, or which shall be made, under the authority of the United States, shall be the supreme law of the land, and the judges in every...
Did you hear that? All debts in the U.S. are their obligations. This Constitution and the laws of the United States shall be the supreme law of the land. It says right here. And the judges in every state shall be bound to this. This is why they get mad when you're in court and you ask them for their oath of office. They want to say common law doesn't exist, constitutional law is, it doesn't have any place here. Really? You call yourself a judge? Yeah. Are you in a state? Yes. Then you're bound to uphold my constitutional rights, freedoms, and liberties. So what are they doing in there? They're upholding the state's constitution, regulations, edicts, codes, statutes, because those are two separate jurisdictions that they can do in that one same courtroom. You have to know which one to invoke.
Every state shall be bound thereby.
Or which one they've assumed you are in. Now, if you're using their stuff, driver's license, whatever else, to identify yourself, then you are considered them and they have jurisdiction. You can fight it because you always have the superior document. You're right here, the Constitution. But they're going to try to fight it, and you need to know how to fight properly. or they'll just call you crazy and a sovereign and whatever else, and say, well, no, I'm a private citizen. So described in the Constitution. But you need to know how to do these things right.
Thereby, anything in the Constitution or laws of any state to the contrary notwithstanding. The senators and representatives before mentioned, and the members of the several state legislatures, and all executive and judicial officers, both of the United States and of the several states, shall be bound by oath or affirmation to support this Constitution, but no religious test shall ever be required as a qualification to any office or public trust under the United States. Article 7. The ratification of the conventions of 9 states shall be sufficient for the establishment of this Constitution between the states so ratifying the same. First Amendment. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion.
All right. Hold on. Hold up. Yep. Stop sharing. All right, that's it, guys. The second part, we're going to go into the amendments. All right, and if I don't have, I don't know if I have a video of the Declaration of Independence, but we're going to make one of those too. Probably not today because I don't have time, because I have been hit up by, well, I won't say the names, but some emergency consultations. So today was supposed to be a whole day of videotaping, but we're going to be interrupted. But, you know, Daddy's got to make some money too. All right, so that's it. Feel free to use this video, share it, like it, subscribe, whatever else. Get a copy of your own from Amazon. Get the old parchment. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not saying to do this, and I do mean I'm not saying to do this. But if you go to court and you have one of these on you, they're not going to like it. So I'm not saying to do that. Really, I'm not. Because what'll happen is you better know how to defend what you got, know what's in it, know how to use it, or they're going to have the bailiff guy escort you out properly and nicely out of there, because they do not want to see this in there. So don't think this is a tip I'm giving you to do this. I'm saying that if you did have this, they're not going to like it. So you better know how to use it and defend it and operate yourself accordingly. Yeah, they don't like the American flag without the fringes on in there either. Some people bring a small one, but like I said, yeah, you're gonna rock the boat. And then sometimes it's good to rock the boat, and sometimes it's not. But all right, guys, you guys take care. I'm gonna fire up the next video, and then I got other things to do. But for now, check me out on TikTok under @James C Lovett or jameslovett.com. And for the love of all things good American, join me over on the Badwolf Media channel on YouTube. Subscribe over there, because we're going to drop it like it's hot. Talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching.